So today's video is something a little bit different. Here on my channel I talk a lot about makeup and skincare and products in general. They're a passion of mine, but another big passion of mine, something I really truly love, is candles. Oh, you can't beat a good candle. I am literally a self-confessed candle addict. I have a huge collection. I can't stop buying them. I love Jo Malone, I love Bath and Body Works, I love Yankee Candle. I just love all candles, to be honest. I've always got a candle burning in my house, particularly in the evening. I like to switch them out from different seasons. Anyway, I'm going off on one. Let's get back to the topic. Sometimes candles can be pretty expensive, right? They can be an investment, and I want to get the most for my money. I want to get the most out of my candle, and I want to reuse the jar, particularly if it's a really pretty jar. So this video is going to cover a whole host of things to do with candles. I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily and safely remove built up wax in like a votive holder. You know, when the wax gets stuck in the bottom if you're burning the smaller candles and it builds up and up and up and then you can't fit a candle in and it looks messy and whatever. I'm going to show you how you remove that. With pretty much all candles, you get that little bit of wax. Sometimes it's a centimetre, sometimes it's as much as an inch of product stuck in the bottom of the candle that you can no longer burn. I'm going to show you how you can use all of that to make a brand new candle. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to safely and quickly and easily remove wax from jars so that you can repurpose and reuse, upcycle, however you like to call it, the candle holder, because sometimes they are super pretty. Like this one here, it's got pumpkins on it and it will make a really cute vase around autumn time. And I'm going to give you a whole host of ideas and show you what I use my empty candle jars for. So basically my house is like a candle storage unit. I've either got a candle burning or I've repurposed the jar and I'm using it for something else. And then I'm going to finish off with a couple of candle tips and tricks so that you can, when you're burning your candle, get the absolute best from it. And like I said, the most for your money. Before we get started, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Oh my God. I don't know why I do these things. I should just stop myself. When I feel myself about to do something incredibly geeky, I should just stop. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to remove built up wax from a small candle holder or like a votive holder. If you've got those small candles that don't actually come in a jar and you have to place them into a candle holder, sometimes that wax can build up, and the more you burn a candle, the higher the buildup of wax gets. And then at some point, it becomes impossible for you to actually fit a candle in. All you need to do is pop your candle holder or your candle into your freezer and leave it there for a good few hours. I normally put mine in the freezer and then I leave them there overnight. The super cold temperature of your freezer basically shrinks the wax. It makes it a little bit smaller so that it comes away from the side of the glass jar. And that way you're able, when you take it out of the freezer, to just turn it over, give it a bit of a tap or a bang, and the wax 9 times out of 10 will just fall free. And then don't waste the wax that you've tipped out. You've got a couple of options there. I'm going to show you how you can use it to make a brand new candle in a bit. But I also have like a wax melt, like a burner. Sometimes you can get them that you pop a tea light underneath. This one here I got, I believe, from Scentsy. It's super old. It plugs in, it heats up. It's not hot, so it is a more safer option if you're a candle fan. And basically the wax that I removed from my votive holder, there's a decent amount of wax that's built up in there and I don't want to waste it. Every penny counts, right? So I just pop that lump of wax into my tea light burner, my wax burner, or an electric burner like this. If the metal wick holder is still there, I can go back once the wax is melted and I can quickly and easily remove it and enjoy the rest of the candle that way. And while we're here very quickly and talking about hot wax, I'm just going to throw it out there. Please be careful when dealing with candles in general, with flames. In this video, I'm going to show you some techniques using melted wax, hot water, hot jars. So just be very cautious and careful when you're doing any of these things. You can use the freezer technique, which shrinks the wax, with any kind of candle. I pop my candle in the freezer overnight. Actually, let's face it, I put it in overnight, then I forget about it, and then next time I go to the freezer I'm like, oh yeah, my candle, and then it sits in there for like 2 months, and then my husband's like, are you gonna do anything with these candles? And I'm like, yeah. Sometimes the tiny little bit of candle wax left in the bottom of the jar might have a lot of like match ends or wick, kind of burnt wick bits, and it's a bit lumpy and bumpy and maybe not something you want to upcycle or reuse. So if you pop it in the freezer, let the wax shrink down, then you can tap the jar If you have to, be very, very, very careful, but you can use a very blunt knife, like a butter knife, to kind of tap and break the wax to help it free up a little bit. Please be careful. And then when you've got your wax out of the jar, you can then kind of break it up into pieces, remove any bits that are kind of black or chunky or bits of match or wick or whatever, so that you've got some nice, clean, fresh pieces of wax that then you can pop into your tea light burner, your wax melt, or you can melt down to make a brand new candle. And I'm going to show you how you can do that now. What I like to do is collect up 4, 5, 6 plus candles that I've burnt down and they no longer light. All you need is an empty jar. It can be a glass, a jar, preferably an old candle jar that you're going to upcycle and reuse again. And you need some brand new wicks. I got this pack of candle wicks on Amazon and it was so cheap. I think it was only like $6.99, $5.99 for 100 wicks, 50 of the longer length, 50 of the shorter length. It also came with 100 double-sided little foam round sticker pads so that you can really quickly attach your wick to the bottom of your brand new candle, and this incredible little kind of metal wick holder which basically keeps your wick standing upright when you pour the wax into your candle. This one is particularly clever because there's a hole in the middle for just one wick, but if you've got a larger jar or you want to use 2 wicks, it holds 2 either side as well. Very, very clever. Such a simple thing, but super effective. I'll drop the ones that I got in the description box. When you've got your collection of candle jars, you need to get a large saucepan or something on your hob, stove, oven top, and you're going to boil some water. Again, please be very, very careful with the water. So I've just got this massive kind of casserole dish. I'm just going to pour in some boiled water and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Now, I don't want it to be raging boiling. Is that even a sentence? I just want it to be kind of nice and hot and simmering. Then all you do is you place your candle jars into your casserole dish or your saucepan into the water, and you just leave them there and let the wax melt. It takes 5, 10, sometimes 15 minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. The wax very, very slowly melts. While it's melting, I'm going to attach my wick to the bottom of the jar of my choice. I'm using this tiny little Bath and Body Works one. I place the wick in, and then slowly and carefully I'm going to pick up the jar. I'm using some kitchen paper, use an oven glove, use some tongs. The jar is going to be really, really hot because it's been sat in boiling water. So carefully pick up your jar, and then all you do is slowly tip the wax into your brand new jar. There's a couple of options. You can layer up your wax. So pour in your first candle, your first layer, let that dry, let it set, and then melt another candle and pour that on top, and you're going to get a really clean, crisp, layered effect. And when you burn your candle, you're going to experience all the different fragrances. To be honest, I'm not that fussy, and when I do this, I kind of like to do it all in one morning, all in one go. I'm a little bit impatient, so I do melt all of my candles and I just bung them in the jar. It's all going to smell nice. They're very similar scents. I like kind of food scented candles, so they're all very similar smells. So, and like I said, I'm super impatient, so I just melt my candles and pour them in carefully, bit by bit. A good tip is, as soon as you've poured out the wax, obviously the glue of the wick holders is going to be soft because it's been sat in that hot water as well. And it's a really good time to carefully clean and wipe out the candle, remove anything with some sort of kitchen paper or whatever, or an old towel. And then the jar comes up super clean, so then you're able to reuse it, keep it, repurpose it. And I'm going to show you some ideas in a bit of what you can do with the empty jars. If you've got some wicks and you haven't got the little nifty metal wick holder, then you can just use some skewers or some chopsticks or even a pencil. Just place it across the top of the jar, maybe wrap the wick around it just so that it holds in place. It doesn't need to be super secure. How easy is that to make brand new candles? They might not look the prettiest, but for me, they serve a purpose, right? They smell amazing. I am not wasting all of the wax that's stuck in the bottom of my candle that I used to throw in the bin. And then I'm reusing the glass jars around my house so that I'm upcycling and really getting the most out of my candles. I have a glass jar to hold my reusable bamboo cotton rounds in my bathroom. My daughter has one on her desk in her bedroom that stores all of her cute little kawaii pens and stationery. I have plenty in my kind of office makeup room that I store all of my makeup brushes in. I even use the glass jar of an old coffee smelling candle with this cute little campsite coffee label to hold my Nespresso coffee pods. Let me know in the comments actually if you do this and you recycle and upcycle your candle jars and what you use them for. I'd be really interested to get some new ideas, because I've got a whole bunch of these in my house that I'm like, I don't want to throw away. I'm like a glass candle jar kleptomaniac. Let's finish off super quick with a few candle tips and tricks so that your candles burn better and cleaner. If your wick is like 3-4 centimeters long, it's too long, and burning it while it's that long is going to cause extra smoke, and it's also going to affect how effectively your candle burns. So trim your wick. You can use scissors. I've got these nifty little wick trimmers. I think I got these from Yankee Candle. Totally not necessary, but like I said, I'm a candle addict. I saw it in the shop and like, I just gave them my money. Take my money, Yankee Candle, take it. The next thing is how to stop candle tunneling. Tunneling is when you light a candle and it doesn't burn cleanly and evenly across the top of the surface. It kind of tunnels down and just only burns in the middle of the jar and leaves all the wax stuck around the edge. It's really frustrating. It's really, really wasteful. One way you can stop that is to make sure that you're burning your candle for long enough. If I've only got half an hour and I need to go out, then I'm not going to light a candle, because I know that that's not long enough for the top layer of the wax to completely melt. So if you're lighting a candle, leaving it for half an hour, 45 minutes, blowing it out, sometimes only the kind of wax around the wick melts. And if you do that over and over and over, basically it just melts down around the wick and leaves all the rest of the candle. So make sure if you're going to light a candle, especially a big candle, I don't know what this is like one of those massive Jo Malone candles, like big mamas. If you're going to light a big candle, then make sure that you've got the time. Never leave a candle unattended, especially around children and animals. I don't know what that is. I thought I'd slip that little safety message in there. The other thing, if you find that your candle does tunnel, there is a way you can kind of help it. Light your candle, know that you're going to be in for like 2 or 3 hours, and you can wrap the jar in tin foil. You don't want to use anything else because of the fire hazard. Wrap it in tin foil, aluminium foil, whatever you like to call it. You can almost like wrap it around slightly. Make sure that you're not covering the top of the candle. That kind of creates extra heat, like a little heat. I don't know about that. We've got a lot of hand gestures going on today. It creates like a little heat pouch. And helps the rest of the wax that's stuck around the edge of the candle get hot and melt down. I think that's it. I think we've basically covered everything there is to know about candles, upcycling, recycling and making new candles. I hope this has helped. If it has and you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. It means the world to me. And like I said earlier, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you let me know in the comments if you've got any other great candle tips, tricks or advice. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll speak to you really soon. Take care.